Crikey, mate, the moon is high, the humans are asleep, and the backyard is a stage for a clash of titans. In this corner, Rocky the Raccoon, masked, clever, and the king of midnight snack raids, and in the other, Stinky Pete the Skunk, calm, confident, and armed with the ultimate deterrent. Tonight, these two are on a collision course. Rocky, the chaotic problem solver, and Pete, the stoic guardian of peace. This is going to be a ripper of a showdown. Under the soft glow of the moon, Mrs. Higgins's garden transforms into a secret battleground. The air is thick with anticipation, and every shadow seems to hold a story. Tonight, the usual peace of this suburban oasis is about to be shattered by a rivalry as old as time itself. The players? Two of the neighborhood's most notorious nocturnal visitors, Rocky the Raccoon and Pete the Skunk. Their motives simple. One seeks glory and a midnight feast, the other undisturbed tranquility. The treasure at the heart of this conflict is no ordinary prize. It's a fresh, golden apple pie, still steaming from the oven, perched temptingly on Mrs. Higgins's windowsill. The aroma drifts through the night air, weaving its way through the garden and calling out to every creature with a sweet tooth. For Rocky, this pie is the ultimate jackpot, a rare treat that promises a night to remember. Rocky's eyes widen with excitement, his little paws twitching in anticipation. He's been waiting for a moment like this all week, and now with the scent of apples and cinnamon filling his senses, he knows he can't let this opportunity slip away. To him, the pie is more than food. It's a trophy, a symbol of cunning and daring. But not everyone shares Rocky's enthusiasm. Pete, the garden's resident skunk, is nestled comfortably beneath the rose bushes, enjoying the cool night air. For Pete, the pie represents nothing but trouble, a disruption to his peaceful routine. He's seen what happens when raccoons get excited, and he's determined to keep the chaos at bay. Rocky, never one to back down, scrambles up onto the wooden fence, his eyes locked on the prize. He chitters boldly into the night. "Oi, Stripey, that pie's mine, best move along!" His voice is full of bravado, but there's a hint of nervous energy. He knows Pete isn't one to be underestimated. Pete responds with a slow, deliberate flick of his tail, his expression unimpressed. "I don't want your pie," he retorts coolly. "I want quiet. Bring chaos and you'll deal with me." The line is drawn, and both animals know there's no turning back now. The garden, once a place of calm, is now the stage for a showdown. Rocky puffs up, making himself look as big and intimidating as possible. He's ready for action, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. This is his moment to prove himself, not just to Pete, but to every creature watching from the shadows. Pete stands his ground, calm but unyielding. He's not interested in glory or pie, just peace. But he's willing to defend it no matter what. The tension between the two is palpable, each waiting for the other to make the first move. And so, beneath the watchful eyes of the moon and the curious gaze of hidden critters, the battle for the pie and the peace of Mrs. Higgins's garden begins. It's a classic standoff. Wit versus will, hunger versus harmony. Who will claim victory tonight? The stage is set for an unforgettable showdown. Under the cover of darkness, when the world is quiet and the moonlight casts long shadows across the backyard, Rocky the Raccoon prepares to launch his signature move, one he's perfected over countless midnight escapades. This is the sneaky snatch, a maneuver that's earned him a reputation among the neighborhood critters as the most cunning thief around. Tonight, his eyes are locked on a fresh, steaming pie cooling on the windowsill, its sweet aroma drifting temptingly through the air. With nimble paws and a twitching nose, Rocky scurries across the lawn, hugging the shadows. He climbs the drainpipe with practiced ease, every movement calculated and silent. His heart races as he edges closer to his prize, careful not to disturb a single leaf or make a sound that might give him away. He pauses, glancing around, then stretches out a paw, aiming for the golden crust, silent as a shadow gliding across the ground. But Rocky isn't alone. Hidden among the rose bushes, Pete the Skunk lies in wait, his black and white fur blending perfectly with the dappled moonlight. Pete's ears twitch at every tiny scritch-scratch Rocky makes. He's been watching the raccoon's antics for weeks, learning his tricks, and tonight he's ready to defend his territory and the pie. Rocky inches closer, muscles tensed, every sense on high alert. He's almost there, just one leap away from victory. His heart pounds in his chest, adrenaline surging as he prepares to spring onto the windowsill and claim his prize. The world seems to hold its breath, but Pete, ever patient and calm, has a secret weapon. With a subtle flick of his tail, he releases a tiny, almost imperceptible puff of his signature scent. A gentle warning, but unmistakable to anyone with a nose. It's a move that says, "Not so fast, Rocky." The pungent smell hits Rocky midair just as he leaps. His concentration breaks, and instead of landing gracefully on the windowsill, he tumbles awkwardly, missing his mark entirely. With a soft thud, he lands in a bag of potting soil, sending a cloud of dirt into the air and leaving his fur a mess. Pete doesn't even have to move from his hiding spot. He simply watches, calm and collected, as Rocky scrambles to regain his dignity. Rocky's pride is bruised, his fur is dirty, and his dreams of pie are dashed, for now. Pete stands tall, victorious, his clever defense earning him the first win of the night. But as the moon climbs higher and the night deepens, both Rocky and Pete know this is just the beginning. The backyard battleground is set, and the adventure is far from over. Rocky, covered in dirt and humiliation, decides to fight stink with stink. He douses himself in garbage can perfume, creating a cloud of pure filth. Pete, offended, calls out, "That's not strategy, that's just bad hygiene." The two stand 10 paces apart, stink clouds swirling, neither willing to back down. The air is thick with competing odors, the pie's scent is lost. Rocky steps forward, Pete lifts his tail. The tension is unbearable, a true battle of wills. Who will break first? The garden holds its breath. Crikey! Realizing stink is a stalemate, Rocky turns to his greatest asset, his brain. He assembles a wild contraption rake, kite string, and a bagel. The plan: use a makeshift pulley to snag the pie. Pete watches, baffled by Rocky's over-the-top engineering. Rocky tosses the bagel weight, but it misses, toppling a gnome and a stack of pots. The rake screeches, the pie doesn't budge. Rocky's genius plan is a spectacular flop. The pie remains, untouched and taunting. The screech wakes Mrs. Higgins from her slumber. She sits up in bed, her heart pounding in her chest. What could be causing such a ruckus at this hour? She glances at the clock on her nightstand. It's well past midnight. With a sigh, she throws on her robe and slippers, determined to investigate the source of the noise. Lights flicker on throughout the house, casting long shadows on the walls. The front door creaks open slowly, revealing the dark, chilly night outside. Mrs. Higgins steps out, her eyes scanning the garden for any signs of disturbance. Rocky the Raccoon and Pete the Skunk freeze in their tracks as she steps out onto the porch. They had been in the middle of their nightly scavenging, but now they stand motionless, caught in the act. Mrs. Higgins mutters under her breath about the mess they always seem to leave behind. Determined to shoo them away, she grabs a pie from the kitchen counter, thinking it might serve as a distraction. But as she steps forward, the pie slips from her grasp. It flies through the air in slow motion, a perfect arc, before landing with a splat right between the two rivals. The pie's filling splatters everywhere, creating a sticky mess on the grass. Mrs. Higgins sighs deeply, realizing her plan has backfired. She retreats back into the house, leaving the pie and the mess behind. The night air is filled with the scent of apples and cinnamon. Rocky and Pete stare at the ruined pie, their eyes wide with surprise. The battle they had been so engrossed in now seems utterly pointless. The prize they had been fighting over is now nothing more than a sticky, gooey mess. Rocky, covered in dirt and apple goo, looks down at himself and feels a wave of embarrassment. He had been so focused on winning that he hadn't realized how ridiculous he must look now. Pete, on the other hand, sees Rocky in a new light. Instead of a rival, he sees a fellow creature who had simply tried too hard. The skunk's initial annoyance fades, replaced by a sense of camaraderie. A low chuckle escapes Pete's lips, and soon Rocky finds himself laughing too. The absurdity of the situation is undeniable, and their laughter echoes through the quiet night. All that effort, all that commotion, and for what? The pie is lost, its delicious filling now part of the garden's soil. It seems like such a waste, but perhaps there's a lesson to be learned here. The garden is quiet once more, the night's excitement fading into memory. The war is over and peace has returned. What a night it has been, full of unexpected twists and turns. As the first light of dawn begins to break, the garden stands as a silent witness to the night's events, a testament to the absurdity and unpredictability of life. Amid the wreckage, Rocky realizes the fun was in the chase, not the prize. Pete too admits the chaos was oddly entertaining. Rocky tastes the ruined pie, then offers some to Pete. Pete hesitates, then joins him, sharing a moment of truce. They learn that sometimes fighting over a pie just makes a mess for everyone. In that quiet moment, they see each other differently, not just rivals, but fellow survivors. Adventure and peace aren't so different after all. Sometimes a little chaos is just what the night needs. As dawn breaks, Rocky and Pete finish their sticky meal. Rocky nods to Pete, a gesture of respect. "You're not so bad, Stripey," Rocky chitters. Pete flicks his tail, friendly now. "You're not so bad yourself, Ringtail." A silent truce forms. The garden is big enough for both. Maybe next time they'll team up instead of clash. Rocky grins. "Same time next week, I hear there's cheesecake." Pete just chuckles, disappearing into the shadows. The night is theirs, and new adventures await. Crikey, what a beautiful thing to see.